78 teams to go on my road to predict all 131 teams this college football offseason. Continuing on with the Pac-12, we're moving on to the Arizona Wildcats. And this is a team that, well, let's face it, for the past however many years, you could sit this team right at the bottom of the Pac-12 conference. However, there was a time in the playoff era where Arizona was towards the top of the nation, and they were ranked and they were getting up there. Arizona may be starting to take steps in the right direction. There's a pretty good, talented recruiting class coming in, as well as some other guys coming in through the transfer portal for this Wildcats team. So, can this be an Arizona team that starts to take steps in the right direction towards possibly making a bowl game? Or is this an Arizona team that you can yet again sit at the bottom of the Pac-12 conference? What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate, and welcome to my channel. I'm predicting all 131 teams this college football offseason. Guys, that means I'm doing your favorite team. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, so you know when that video gets uploaded. And for fans of the Arizona Wildcats out there, you guys are going to know this team a lot more than I do. So if you feel like I missed something, you want to add something, anything of the sort, please leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to hear what you guys have to say. Well, let's talk about Arizona. In 2022, this is my 11th ranked team in the Pac-12 conference coming in to this upcoming season, and 1-11 last year. Now, you may be saying, Nate, you said that this program was starting to go in the right direction. They were 1-11 last year. I'm getting there. But I'm a little bit of a believer in this Arizona team. However, let's look at some stats from last year. Offensively, this team was not great. 356 yards and 17 points per game. Some of the worst numbers in the Pac-12, some of the worst numbers overall in the nation there as well. Defensively, they were pretty middle of the road in terms of yards allowed. They allowed 372 yards per game and allowed less than 200 yards per game passing through the air. So, good stuff there from Arizona. But when you look at the points per game, they allowed almost 31 points per game. So the defense definitely doing some better things than years past. But offensively, this team has a lot of work to do and a lot of turnaround to accomplish. Let's take a look at some of the talent leaving this Arizona team. And the wide receiver room was decimated this offseason. Stanley Berryhill, their leading receiver, who had 744 yards and a touchdown, is gone. BJ Castile had 326 yards and a touchdown. The second leading receiver is also gone. The fourth leading receiver, Tavian Cunningham, is also gone. 299 yards and 2 touchdowns for him. And then Jalen Booby Curry is also gone. 233 yards and 3 touchdowns this season to go for him. So this is definitely a lot of talent leaving the wide receiver room and a lot of guys who were pretty solid for this team a season ago. You're going to have to see how they replace them. But looking at the defensive position here, Trayvon Mason had 2.5 sacks last year. And then Mo Diallo, who had 4 sacks last year. Both of those guys gone off the defensive line group. As well as Levell Tatum. He's also gone. Anthony Pandy was the leading tackler last year with 82 tackles. Did have a pick he returned for a pick 6 last year. He's also gone. Kenny Hebert, Trayshawn Hayward, a couple other guys that are leaving this room there as well. So definitely talent leaving this this team. There's no doubt about it, especially in the wide receiver room and in the defensive front seven. So now you might be asking yourself, Nate, Jedd Fisch just has never had a lot of talent at this program, at least in previous years. How is he going to get up there? Well, you have quarterback Will Plummer coming back. However, he's going to be out for around the next, I believe, 4 to 6 months following shoulder surgery. Had 1,610 yards, 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last year. Yeah, not a great stat line. But they do have a transfer coming in. Jaden DeLaura from Washington State. Ooh, that's a very interesting transfer. A name that I know not a lot of people are going to pay attention to this year because he's going to play for Arizona now. But that's a big pickup for this Arizona team. It can definitely get this passing attack going here a little bit more. DJ Williams is a transfer coming in. You also have Michael Wiley and Drake Anderson, a couple running backs coming back as well. And there are 2 freshmen sitting behind in that room as well, waiting to get their playing time. Wide receivers, you have Jacob Cowing, who's transferring over from UTEP, had a fantastic season for the Miners last year. Dorian Singer is coming back for this team. He had 301 yards, no touchdowns a season ago. But that's production, and you have experience coming back in the system. Otherwise, there's some really, really talented freshmen, but none more talented than, I'm probably going to butcher this name, so I apologize to Wildcat fans everywhere, especially the kid's name I'm about to say. Tetairoa McMillan. Again, I probably said that wrong. I know, but he's a very talented freshman. They have other freshmen coming in as well that should get time at the wide receiver position. Besides Jacob Cowing, this is, well, even including Jacob Cowing, this is going to be a young wide receiver group with a young quarterback, a fairly young quarterback, fairly young wide receiver group. It's going to be interesting to watch how this passing game works for Arizona this year. Otherwise, you have Kenyon Burnett coming back as well. On the defensive side of things, guys like Jalen Harris, Hunter Echols is a transfer coming in, Anthony Solomon, Jerry Roberts, Christian Young, Jackson Turner, Christian Roland Wallace, DJ Warnell. Warnell's another transfer coming into this team. Anthony Solomon is a transfer coming into this team. There's a freshman back there in Lane Sterling that figures to get some playing time as well. So this is definitely an Arizona team that, talent-wise, in my opinion, is making some steps in the right direction. Now, the pass game is going to be a big question. How does Delora fit in? There are a lot of transfers, a lot of freshmen. It's a young group. Last year, it was an Arizona team that had 226 passing yards per game. So, had a fairly decent passing attack last year. Look for it to still be pretty good. Look for it to be pretty solid in 2022. Let's look at the Arizona schedule now. And much like Colorado that we looked at earlier today, if you're keeping up with Upload's schedule, which I'm proud of you if you are, Arizona's got a lot of tough non-conference games. So they go on the road to play San Diego State. That's not a pushover by any means. Brady Hoke, of course, coaching that team. San Diego State was a team that was ranked for a lot of the year last year, was in the Mountain West Championship, and then won their bowl game against UTSA, another solid team last year. Very, very good defensive-minded team at San Diego State. Then you have your Power 5 opponent at home against Mississippi State. That's a fan base in Starkville that's looking for this program to take that next step to maybe get 7 or 8 wins in 2022. And for Mississippi State and for Arizona in this game, going to be a hard game for the Cats to win. Otherwise, you got a home game against North Dakota State, one of the best and most historic FCS programs out there. Just won the FCS national title last year as well. Definitely not another pushover game. In Pac-12 play, you got road games against Cal, Washington, Utah, and UCLA. And games at home going to be played against Colorado, Oregon, USC, Washington, and Arizona State to cap off the year. So kind of a little bit more of a deep dive into the schedule. Again, for Arizona, 3, again, non-pushover conference or non-conference games, right? Going on the road to play San Diego State, that's going to be tough. Staying at home, playing Mississippi State, that's also going to be tough. And then at home against North Dakota State, I'm going to slightly favor the Wildcats in there, but I mean, like, it's close. And we'll take a look at the percentages here in a little bit, or what my percentages I feel like are. So, Arizona, definitely a team that, this is definitely a team that cannot take their non-conference schedule lightly. It's a team that's going to have to fight for some wins in non-conference play. When you take a look in conference play, though, there are definitely some winnable games. I mean, that game that game at the end of the year at home against Arizona State, that's winnable. At home against Colorado, very winnable game there as well. And it's weird to say that Arizona has winnable games in the Pac-12, but there's a lot to like about this Arizona team coming into this season. Yeah, you have a lot of tough games. I mean, you got to play USC, UCLA, Utah, Oregon. You got to go on the road to play Washington. You get Washington State at home. There are some tough games on the schedule, but there are also winnable games on the schedule for Arizona. Make no mistake about it. I do not do game-by-game predictions. I do a more percentage-based outlook to help me predict a team's record. So if the game is in red, quite simply, I just don't see you winning the game. If the game's in orange, I still don't see you winning. But hey, it is college football, and upsets can happen. Yellow are your 50-50 or high upset potential games. Games in yellow-green are games that you should win, but watch out for the team on the other side of the ball. And games in green are games that I see you winning. So again, looking at the schedule, there, much like Colorado, is no guaranteed win on the schedule. I mean, San Diego State, that's a tough defensive team and a tough challenge for Arizona State to kick off this season. Mississippi State, that's a pretty solid Power 5 team that plays in the SEC, and a team with a lot of pass threat when you look at the Mike Leach system. One of the best passing offenses in the entire nation in Mississippi State. And then at home against North Dakota State, you just cannot let that game, you cannot play that game easily. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. You can't take North Dakota State lightly. I think everyone knows that. North Dakota State, a very, very good football team, and that could be a dangerous game for Arizona there at home as well. However, when you look in conference play, a lot of games I just don't see you win. In fact, there's that 6-game stretch right there from Oregon all the way to Washington State that I think you're going to have to pull off either a huge or slight upset in order to win any one of those games. Because for Arizona, look, that's a tough 6-game stretch that very well could prove to be the 6 best teams in the conference right there. And if you're going to want to look for winnable games for Arizona in conference play, I mean, at home against Arizona State. Perfect opportunity right there against a rival school. You're not necessarily, in my opinion, going to have a lot to play for at the end of the year besides pride in the rivalry game. That could be one right there. At home against Colorado, that could be another one there. Even on the road against Cal, I think is very much so a winnable game for Arizona in conference play. Very winnable, very manageable. Definitely going to be a game that I'm going to be interested in watching. But again, you cannot take those 3 non-conference games lightly. I do think Arizona wins one of them. I think more likely than not, it's going to be that North Dakota State game. But again, you got to be careful. That North Dakota State team always is no pushover. And they've pulled off upsets against FBS teams in the past. Look back in 2016 against Iowa. And they've done it to lesser opponents like Arizona before. But Arizona, I think with the talent that's on this team, yeah, there's a lot of questions surrounding this program, obviously. But I think this Arizona team's going to win some games this year. I got them at 3-9 in 2022. Now, 1-11, and I'll even say 0-12 is not out of the question. But I think this Arizona team, looking at the roster, just has too much talent to go 0-12 this year. So I do see that floor being right back at 1-11. Yet there are no guaranteed wins for Arizona. I think they pick up at least a win somewhere down the road. But I also think this Arizona team can be a little bit of a pleasant surprise. I don't know that they're necessarily going to push towards a bowl game standpoint, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Arizona, I'll say 8th in the Pac-12, which is why I have them at a ceiling which is why their ceiling is at 5-7. With Jaden Delora, Jacob Cowing, a lot of freshmen coming in at the wide receiver quarterback position, a running back room that could be pretty deep, could have some sneaky depth, a defense that, well, is returning and even getting in, a lot of talent. I think this can be a solid Arizona team in 2022, but I have them at 3-9. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on the Arizona Wildcats. And remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. See all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.